Yeah, I'm quite That's the problem with That's all I've got. So,
We haven't got a proper microphone yet. So, in the bowler is Sam Winton.
Nice warm day.
Sure is.
You commentating? I
Um,
won't talk to you then.
yeah, I'm going to. I'm not sure whether it's working or not. So, welcome here to Greg Chaplin Oval on this beautiful Saturday morning. We've got Queen's Cricket Club up against Broadbeach Robina Cricket Club in a trial 2020 match. But what's that? Excellent. Well, the audio is working for all those out there. Sam Winston coming into bowl to Stephen Baker, and nice drive through cover, and they're going to come back for two. A little bit upish, but in the gap. Beautiful day here downtown Southport. What more could the viewers ask for? Nice ball for Steve Baker to hit straight through to mid-on. Derbs, and back for two. Looked like it was going to go for four. Ground must be a bit damp at that end of the field. Oh, well bowled. A good challenge, this one. Sam Winton, one of the top bowlers in Gold Coast cricket for many years, against Steve Bacon, the old performer from Broadbeach, who's been one of the leading run scorers for the last few years. Nice guy. Well fielded by Joel Lawson at gully. It's the end of the first over. Good start by Lucas. Pull him straight, hit straight back to him. Haven't seen Kyle Broccoli bat, but from all accounts, he's a classy bat. Hits the ball very hard. Lucas, side off. There's some movement at the crease there by Kyle. Well bowled by Lucas. He only able to squirt it out to point. No run. Ooh. Well bowled, play and miss. Lucas coming in again. Well bowled. Full and straight. Bowling to his field there. Got a fielder at deep cover, one at long off. Only two outside the circle. So, bit of a change of field here. Jacob shooting at mid-on is going straighter and right on the 30 yards. And a play miss outside off. Beautiful over there by Lucas. That's a maiden. Score is none for 4 after 2 overs. Doing this one.
I like it. Awesome.
And it's live streaming on YouTube.
Ryan, how are you?
A lovely shot there by Steve Baker.
Yeah, I don't mind. Give me a
Flicked off the pads for 4. One thing you can't do when you're bowling to Steve Baker is stray. He is way too strong. See what happens here. Sam will be wanting to follow that with some good balls. Don't be too surprised if there's a short one now. Oh. Lovely bowling there by Sam, but even better batting by Bakes. Straight back down past the bowler for 2. He's looking in good form, Steve Baker. But then again, for a man that plays cricket 365 days a year, why wouldn't he be? Sam in again. Nice line of length. Only defend that mid-off. Well bowled, well defended. The thing about Steve Baker is he's very smart in his play. He's already scored 6 runs off the first 2 balls, so he won't be looking to do anything expensive. He'll wait for a bad ball. I think Captain Jack Winton has just subliminally heard messages from Greg Little wondering why Hilly is in first slip, and he's now moved to another cover position. This drifts onto the pads of Kyle Broccoli. Ready for a leg by. Bring Steve Baker on to face Lucas for the first time today. Well bowled to the might again. Straight to the fielder at deep cover for a single. Certainly good bowling to the field there. Properly. And edge. Very well bowled.
I heard.
And straight to cover for a dot ball. Never like to see a catch go between keeper and slip. Bowler will be feeling a little bit disappointed that that didn't get a wicket. Full and straight. Played to mid on. Lucas. That ball to finish the over. The leg by and 3 runs. None for by Blake Chapman, who was the leading wicket taker in first grade for Gold Coast last year. Blake's a right-hand bowler. He bowls with his correct hand rather than these weird left-handers that we seem to have a lot of at Queens. So Blake will hopefully continue where he left off last year with some really good form. Good start. Full and straight. Played straight back to him.
Nah, we tried to.
The one thing I hate seeing on the cricket field is players with their shirt hanging out. Blake Chapman is one of those that hates tucking his shirt in. Fortunately, he loves being a slob. Another full straight one. It's slightly wider that one. Played to cover for another dot. Bowled, bit straighter. Bakes isn't able to get that away on the leg side.
How many balls have you got?
Soft hands by Bakes. Easy single there. Like to Kyle Broccoli. Full toss. Go away with that one. Knock straight back to the bowler. Bowled Blake. One run off the over. Only got 5 balls in that over. How about you?
No, no, I had 3 dots, single and 2 dots.
There you go. Bad scoring by me. Yes, yes. Commentating and scoring and doing the video will take a little bit of getting used to. So Lucas Popeman to bowl to Steve Baker. Lucas under his 3rd over. Slightly wide there by Lucas. Bakes was unable to get under that one. Oh, lovely, lovely stroke there by Bakes. Full and straight and back past the bowler. Great fielding by Gordon Mackay at long off. Back for an easy 2 runs. Lucas in again and flicked away. Beautifully flicked away. Just drifted onto his hip and took advantage of it. Put it over backwards square for 4. It's way too easy for Steve Baker. He moves under 18 off 20 balls. See what Lucas responds with. Back to full and just outside off. And a single to long off. Bakes is looking in good form today. Lucas to Kyle Broccoli. And that's another delightful strike back past the bowler before Gordon Mackay couldn't cut that off from long off. Kyle moves on to 6 off 14 balls. His first boundary there. Last ball of the over, a dot ball. 12 off that over. It's a good over for Broadbeach. The end of the 6-hour power play, Broadbeach a none for 27. We've got a deep cover, a third man, fine leg, and a long on outside the boundary, outside the 30-yard circle, I should say. Blake bowls falling straight to Bakes. Dot ball straight off his pads to mid wicket. And again, repeat of last one, full and straight, driven to mid off, can't beat the fielder, dot ball. Full and straight again, this time Bakes drove towards mid on, the mid wicket came across but wasn't able to cut off that cleanly, so through for a single. Back to Kyle, and popped up. Field was back at mid off, so no risk in that, but Blake could be feeling that was a win to him. Made him play hard hands at it and popped it up. Bakes. Another full and straight, driven towards mid on, cut off by the mid wicket this time, so no run. End of the over, 2 runs off. After 7 overs, it's none for 29. Shooten is coming on to bowl.
Yeah, that's cool.
Schouten.
Tender. Okay, come on, get back out there.
Good start by Jacob. Just a loosener.
I did. I've already taken some.
I really don't. Then you're in trouble.
Ball by Jacob. Kyle Broccoli stepped forward to try and smash that one and missed it. Very well bowled that one. Bit of excitement in the crowd with that wicket.
No, it was your ability bowlers. Would have known.
Seven runs.
Bowling's not too bad.
7 runs with Kyle Broccoli.
Yes, 7 runs.
19 deliveries.
Yes.
I heard it on Tuesday. And that second net got my record in.
Solid defence. Can you just have a look and see, is the score board on the bottom of that, please? Last ball of the over here by Jacob. Oh, play and miss. It's a very good over that. That's a wicket maiden. After 8 overs, it's 1 for 29. Joel Lawson. Bowling to Bakes. 5 out on the boundary here. And he starts with a very loose full toss. Actually called a no ball, so it must have been above shoulder height, which is probably fair. It is Steve Baker. It's probably only above waist height for most people. And the free hit went for a dot. He has called a no ball. Not sure that the umpire knows the rules for no balls. They're supposed to be above shoulder for that, but anyway. It's supposed to be shoulder height for no balls. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they changed the rules. Choppy, I'm just talking to the brother.
YouTube channel.
Jacob Shooten coming into bowl. Short ball, great shot. Didn't quite time it. The batsmen aren't running, so they'll only pick up 2 despite the fact that ball nearly reached the boundary. Good chase there from Sam Whitten, reeling that ball in. This trial match here is being played on half of a new pitch, just installed over the off-season. So far it's playing pretty well. Oh, that ball seemed to kick at him. Stephen Baker here, a very experienced batsman. Great wicketkeeper. It'll be interesting to see if he gets going here. He's known to be able to hit a long ball, but so far fairly subdued, just 23 or 31 deliveries. That's a great shot, and it's going to be reeled in by the sweeper there. Young Michael. Covering a decent amount of ground there to pick that up. Using a pink ball here, pink kookaburra ball. I'm not sure if they've just pulled that out of the shed or if there's a reason behind that. Deft touch there, guiding it down the third man. Excellent shot to wrap up the over. A good one there from Jacob Shooten, at least on paper. A couple of loose balls in there that he probably would like to reel back in. And just for a score update, we have 1 for 45 after 10 overs, halfway through the innings. And we have Joel Lawson to continue. He'd really love to continue where he finished that last over. A couple of good balls to finish the Start of his previous over was absolutely nightmarish. 4 full tosses. You like that for a spinner at the start of the season. Really hard to just get the ball coming out with confidence, getting rip and flight and turn, but also landing the delivery. It can be a little bit difficult to build your confidence straight up. But here he comes in. Oh, and a big appeal from the bowler at least. Not much interest from anyone else. One of the best fielders I've ever seen in front of the stumps, but I haven't been convinced by his performance with the gloves today.
You mean he's keeping shit?
Chopper just inserting his own opinion there. Thank you, Chopper.
That's what I'm here for. Stupidity.
Bit of colour commentary. It's a big burden for Jack to be shouldering today, though. Keeping, captaining, it's a tough one, especially when you're not a specialist keeper. Making good show of it, though. That crouch looks very convincing. Oh, and that ball kicked off a length there for Joel Lawson. Pitch is still a little bit fresh, but that was actually off the older side of the pitch. More difficult than it looks. Batsman may hopefully be looking to accelerate here soon. Good shot, very late, played it under the eyes. And we've got one ball to come in this Joel Lawson over. Really looking forward to seeing how some of these young bowlers will go in the death overs. Liam out of his ground. But gets the bat down in time.
Yeah, I was there for about 6 or 7 nights, maybe. Yeah.
Struggling to find the boundary today. But as they say, runs on the board count more than balls in the shed. And here comes Michael back for his second over. I think Jack Winton's going to use today as an opportunity to have a look at a lot of bowlers. A lot of bowling depth here in this Queen side. The field being set unchanged from last over. Long on, long off back. 2 sweepers on the off, 1 on the leg. And that's just chipped softly to mid-wicket. That's a disappointing way for Liam Denniston to end his innings. Just 12 off 22 deliveries, or 23 deliveries now. Looks like young Armstrong coming out to bat.
No, that's not.
No?
You know who that batter is?
No, he's just wearing an Armstrong shirt.
Bakes. Who's
Apologies, viewers. Finding the name of the...
Yes, we had 13 of 23, more or less.
12 off 23, but close enough.
Oh, yeah.
Here between Queen's Cricket Club and Broadbeach Robina Cricket Club. Let me know how I do that if you...
Poorly.
Yeah, Paulie? Paulie, thanks. Thanks, Choppy.
That was a good effort.
Thanks. Been given an A for effort at least. We all know how much those certificates are worth. We have an unusual situation where we have half a new pitch being used. You can see that green, very green on the left side of the screen, and a rather old pitch one that's been used for many years on the right side of the pitch. So it'll be an interesting challenge for the batsman today. Both of them seem to be playing reasonably consistently, though. As that ball's just hit for a single out to deep backward point. And the sweeper's in place. For many decades, the ball ballooning out. Another institution, this time for Broadbeach Robina. He's been representative cricket for many years. His career's definitely moving towards the twilight, but still a strong, strong batsman.
Trying to say he's old.
I'm trying to be very kind about how I go about saying that, though. Thanks, Choppy.
So he's a classy old.
An excellent batsman who's decided that his days of representative cricket are behind him, and he's going to focus on his local cricket and business interests. He'll be at the non-strikers end to get a look at Michael Ethel coming in for his second or last delivery, if you'll excuse me. It's a full toss, struck well out to the cover sweeper for another single. Just, again, struggling to find momentum, this Broadbeach Robina batting innings. And the score is 465 after 14 overs, 36 balls remaining in this innings. And it's been a strong bowling performance for the most part from Centaurs, minus a few loose deliveries in the centre of the innings, which honestly weren't punished. Whipped off his toes there. It's a good shot out to the sweeper at deep mid. Bounce throw. Failed to be collected by Jack Winton. Once again, struggling with the gloves. Thankless task, the wicketkeeper. And there'll be even fewer thanks if you do a poor job of it. Alex coming in for his 8th delivery, and that's a good length ball. Ryan Armstrong there, just indicating with his hand that perhaps a bit of a change of pace on that delivery. Well outside the line there, I think. A half-hearted appeal from the bowler. Given as runs by the umpire. I did hear a bit of a woody noise, which obviously was bad. Wild flash at that, and honestly, he was a fair distance away from it, playing over the delivery there. As the ball goes a bit wide, and is chased down by the cover fielder as it's returned to the bowler. Reasonable turnout here at Queen's Cricket Club for a simple trial match. There's probably 20 spectators here, plus the two teams. Everyone very keen to get back into their cricket after a year where, in all honesty, there were thoughts of whether or not we'd actually get a season in at all, which is still yet to be decided. Another full toss. There's been a few of those today, not collected cleanly by the wicketkeeper. Direct hit there from Lucas Popeman, fielding at a fly slip position. Absolutely no impact on the game, but I'm sure that'll boost the confidence of the young man as he disturbs those bails. End of the over. Good one there, actually, from Alex. He finishes his second over with just 9 wickets, 9 runs. 9 wickets would be excellent. 9 runs to his name. But here's the destroyer himself, Michael Ethel, coming on for his third over. Two wickets for 11 already to his name. 5 overs remaining in the innings. It'll be interesting to see who Jack Winton chooses to close the innings out in the remaining 4. Whether or not he'll go back to pace, or whether he'll choose to keep pace off the ball. That's a late cut down to the backward point fielder. Reaching wide to attempt to sweep that delivery. Danny only manages to clip it to square leg, where Mitch Freeman doesn't field cleanly, but does well enough to wrestle the ball and keep it to a dot delivery. Coming through for his third delivery now. Punch collected by cover. Another single. Struck this ball cleanly, but again, just the single. Some good fielding in the deep there by, I believe, Joel Wilson. A little bit hard to tell with the distances involved here. Another flighted delivery, and this is in the air, but it's gone between the sweepers, and that will be 4. Great placement there. A very patient innings from Danny. Just been dealing at a run of ball up to this point. That takes him to 17 from 14 deliveries. He's the only batsman to strike it more than a run of ball today. I'm sure that Ryan Armstrong will be looking to change that. Both of them striking the ball quite cleanly now. They'll be looking to take this past 100 as far as they can. Queens seem to be content to leave the ball outside off stump and trust in their sweepers. Just 4 overs remaining in the innings now. Who's Jack Winton going to throw the ball to for Queens? The ball's going to stay with Alex. And I think if the Bull Sharks are going to make a run at putting a intimidating total. What? Not the Bull Sharks? Not the Bull Sharks? No. Who are the Broadbeach Robina? Don't have a name. The Cats. My bad. Thanks for that correction, Chopra. Burleigh Bull Sharks. Apologies to all you Burleigh fans. That ball's mistimed, but there's no deep point in, so they're going to collect 2 as Sam Winton pulls that ball back in from the boundary, running around from extra cover. Bounce throw into Jack Winton. Fielders have learnt to be kind to him behind the stumps. As I was saying there, before we got tied down in that bull shark controversy, Broadbeach Arena are really going to be looking to push the envelope now if they're going to push this target up to something that Queen's going to have trouble chasing. One would suspect they'd be looking to accelerate the innings now. And that's certainly backed up by that, what can only be described as a dirty, dirty hoik across the line from Danny. No run to Blake Chapman at mid-wicket. Change of pace crucial at this time of the innings. Another, no, not dot delivery. That's been given wide. And I think quite fairly too. No wide lines marked on the pitch this morning. So the umpires are given a little bit of creative license with what they call as wide, but I think they've been fairly fair today. Miss hit down to long on. It's gone wide of the fielder who's coming around. That is Nathan Hill, who has excellent ground coverage and a good arm, but unable to stop the two. Well run there. Ball was just too wide of him there to cut it down to one. Pressure on both batsman and bowler here. Oh, and Jack Winton attempting to catch Danny Napping, but I don't think he ever left his crease. Perhaps more out of frustration at having once again fumbled the ball. Two deliveries remaining, and it's over. Clean shot this time. Heading out to deep long on. Nathan Hill collects once again, covering a lot of ground, and that's going to be another 2 to the total. One ball remaining in this, the 17th over. 19 balls in the innings total, with the score on 4 for 84. Reverse sweep, cheeky shot there, not connected with, and that's the end of the over. We have Sam Winton coming into bowl again, senior bowler for Queens. As the sight screen is brought around to accommodate his left arm over the wicket bowling. Sam's another cricketer who has played a lot of representative cricket over his years, but has chosen that this year he's going to call time on that part of his career. Some extra pressure on Jack behind the wicket, no doubt, as he attempts to glove his brother's deliveries. We have a full pitch delivery being driven by Ryan Armstrong out to deep cover, where Joel Lawson collects. This, of course, being the first of 2 games being played between these 2 clubs today. No doubt the second game will be a little bit more clinical as the players get their iron in this first match, shake the rust out. So I encourage you to stick around. Beating the bat there. Perhaps tailing that one in slightly. As Ryan Armstrong attempts to guide that one down to third man for a single, but cannot connect. Attacking the stumps there from Sam. The ball is pushed down to long on for a single. Looking for 2, but they're not going to get it. Excellent ground coverage from Lucas Popeman. The ball is a little bit wild as it's delivered back in. That's what you want to see, especially from your young fielders early in a season, is keenness to attack the ball and cut off that 2. And a big hoik there. Big hoik. That one's going to go out for 4 when there's no one at square leg. Danny finally breaking the shackles slightly there, targeting an area of the ground where there is no sweeper. Something that the Cats have failed to do today consistently. But there's still 13 balls remaining in this innings, and cricket's a funny game. Great shot there, but I don't think it's got the legs. Another excellent catch from Gordo on the boundary, flirting with that boundary line. This time right in front of me, and I can tell you that was within centimetres of the rope without touching it. Excellent boundary awareness. Catching the ball out in front of him, arms extended over the line as he collected the ball. Disappointing way for Danny to end his innings. That was probably an extra half a metre on that. Would have had the legs to carry it for 6. 29 off 24 is his final tally. 3 boundaries. He's been the pick of the batsman today, but still will be disappointed with that initial performance. He'll have a chance to go one better in the second game, but for now he's going to rest his heels. As Jaden Davis joins Ryan Armstrong in the middle for what will be the final 2 overs of this innings. Picturesque ground, this one. Greg Chaplin over, positioned between all these paperbark trees. A good breeze covers the ground. Unfortunately, the ground is restricted on either side by, on one side, a drainage easement, on the other, residential properties. So the square boundaries are very short. The ground sort of forms a bit of a rectangle. Perhaps, depending on which pitch you're using, 45 to 55 metres to a boundary. This time they're fairly centre in the wicket, so it should be 50 metres to a boundary square. And perhaps 65 to the straight boundaries. The corner of the ground can be as long as 75 metres. One interesting characteristic of this ground is the fact that the pitch forms a little bit of a mound. And if you're using either of the side pitches, there can be some significant movement with a slope across the pitch. Centre wicket used today. That won't be a problem. We have Blake Chapman coming in. He's carrying a little bit of an injury, I'm told. Just having injured it there at training this week. His right leg is giving him a little bit of pain. I'm told he's been popping painkillers and he's ready to charge in. He seems convinced that his injury has actually given him the ability to in-swing it, which he normally struggles to do. Something about favouring that left leg. And a strong shot there from Ryan, but unable to connect cleanly. Keeping in good areas. Can we just get some insight here from one of the Broadbeach Robina players? Just how did that pitch play earlier on? Can you just speak clear in the microphone?
Yeah, it's fine. It played a little bit slow first up, but just good to be out in the middle this time of year. It's reasonably consistent. Just play a little bit slow. If you bang it on a good length, you'll get a little bit out of it.
Yeah, good. Looking forward to bowling on it later. I think you've.
I don't think I'll bowl. I'd love a bowl if I get the opportunity.
You'll have the gloves on, won't you?
Keeping,
Yeah, some great hands there. Do you think the spinners are going to play a big role today?
For us, we will. Yeah, spin will be a big part of what we do. And if they hit their lengths, it's going to be pretty hard to get them away.
To cement their spots in the higher grades, having Cody just joined the club and got a lot of talent from the looks of... Alex having just joined the club and seeming to have a lot of talent. Cody flirting with that first grade. Another chip, this time going to land safe. Again, splitting those 2 fielders, less intentionally this time. Looked like he was attempting to go over cover to that vacant boundary there with a bit of a gap between long on and the cover fielder. no close infielders anymore. Jack Winton content to give singles away. It is just the 4 men on the 30-meter circle and the 5 men on the boundary. And that's just chipped into the pads. Again, Ryan fails to get that one away. That bat he's using is enormous. He's showed me there in the change room the size of this piece of willow that he's wielding. It is 3 pounds, but it looks like it's about 5.
Glad it's his bat that he was showing in the change rooms.
Thanks, Choppy. We should rename you Dickie Knee. And many of our younger listeners probably won't get that reference. Look it up. Look it up. It's the right day for it, being Saturday. A lot of families down here at the club today. And a few older patrons as well. Between the children and the elderly, there's got to be a lot of nappies being worn. That's a wide delivery from Sam Winton, and he is not pleased, whether with himself or the umpire. It's difficult to tell, but he'd be advised to keep his mouth shut about which one it is. Sam Winton's not a man that you want to cross. I've never seen. And that one's chipped back past him, not struck cleanly by Jake Davis. Gordo's going to collect that down at long. Manager of a captain second grade this year, I believe. But he's free to play first grade in this T20 competition before the second grade season kicks off. That's another good single there as Elton misfields that ball. Always difficult early in the season to be picking balls cleanly off the turf, but he'll still be disappointed in that. Just 4 balls left with the score on 5 for 99. That ball's been chipped down the long on. We have Alex coming in, and he dives at the delivery, but is unable to take the catch. Popping out as he hits the ground. Attempting the chest mark, always difficult when you're diving forward. I think that just struck him more than collecting it cleanly. He's disappointed. He went for the chest mark. Difficult with a cricket ball. Sam actually taking that in stride. And the ball, the score goes over 101 with that shot. Great delivery, great comeback delivery there from Sam after that disappointment of the missed wicket. Even in a trial match where none of these statistics are going to count against your name, it's always a bit of a boost to your confidence to see a couple of digits in that wicket column. Sam just having the one from his first over early in the innings. Coming in now, 2 balls remaining. Again, not struck cleanly, but it's enough. Jake chipping this down between the long on and longer fielders. Armstrong unable to come back for the second, to the derision of his teammates on the boundary. I think a few of them forgetting that the number of years that Paul Ryan's carrying as he runs between the wickets. That would be one disadvantage of carrying a bat of that weight. Slow you down between the wickets. Final ball of the innings coming up now. Sam looking to keep it to a dot. Can we see some fireworks from Ryan? There's an attempt, but no. The highlight of the innings there, Jack Winton cleanly fielding that ball behind the stumps to finish the innings. Good way to end on a high note for him. I think Broadbeach are going to be a little bit disappointed with that score. 102 for 5 off their 20 overs. But being the first innings of the year, there'll still be enough pressure on Queen's Cricket Club to make a game of this match. Stick around for the second innings. I can't promise you any interim entertainment, but I'll do my best to rustle some up. This is Matthew Brown. We'll see you back in the second innings. We have Jack Winton, the Queen's captain, to face the first ball.
Army, here's the bowl, please.
And with him is Mitch Freeman, young left-handed batsman. Two contrasting styles here. Jack will look to set the pace. Mitch Freeman, I think, is going to them. Be a little bit less familiar with the Broadbeach Robina names, being a player at Queen's Cricket Club, but I'll do my best. Put on the board by Broadbeach Robina, but early in the season, anything can happen. Batsmen aren't in form yet, and batting on turf is unfamiliar after a season preparing. Charlie's Kitchen here at Queen's Cricket Club. Some great burgers on offer for a reasonable price. Side, a half-hearted appeal from one of the men. Square of the wicket, who had no idea. Very high. Fielders running to get underneath it. Won't get there in time. Batsman will cross and come back for two. Aggressive shot played for the first time there from the captain. I don't think Connor will be too disappointed to see that shot played. That's a long boundary. So if you're going to hit orthodox of Queens that have been building up over the course of that first over, so Mitch Freeman should feel a little bit more relaxed. Excuse me. In all honesty, there wasn't much hesitation from the bowler, and it was a very confident appeal. Although we're not right behind the bowler's arm here, I'd be surprised if it was a shocker. And the consensus here from the observers at the ground is, yeah, that was a fair decision. And a more flighted delivery there from Danny. Brought back the pace a little bit there. Change of pace key for a spinner. And even the quick bowlers, but especially he's going in for the slide of the... A lot of locks on that young head. May have been weighing him down and getting... Doesn't make sense to this. Again, trying to make room for himself. He struck that not cleanly. Split the two sweepers and they'll be... Potentially just a few pink balls were lying in the shed for each of these teams and looking to get some use out of them. No, I've checked. These are kookaburras. Yeah, just score there for Queen's Centaurs. I think there was a bit of a tickle on that one. They'll settle for one. No, it's been signalled as leg by the umpire. So that one simply pitching outside leg stump. Field, for those of you who are interested, that has been set. We've got long on back now with the right-hander on strike and a deep square leg. The offside is packed with close infielders, two short fielders on the leg side. That ball's down leg side, and that's going to be called wide. No wide lines in place today for this. Pointed with himself after that delivery. Understandable, he's been building pressure well. Just a couple of loose deliveries marring his figures. That's a real loosener, but Jack Winton unable to capitalise. That ball really sat up to be struck. Yeah, admonishing himself. Playing.
Are you feeling brave enough to interview him on the way off, Brownie?
Considering he's just hit his glove probably further than he hit the ball. So it can be a little bit uncertain what you're going to get from him on one day, but it's always good to watch. Very elegant batsman, clean strokes. Oh, that's a horrible ball first up. No sign of the elegance I was just talking about as that ball sits up for Nathan Hill and he's out first. That's the sort of thing that can happen in these early matches in the season when a lot of batsmen don't have balls under their belt, if you'll pardon the expression, and it can result in an early dismissal. Memories of the previous season coming in to tell you what you can do, but the the body just not able to follow through. Next batsman in is going to be Gordon Mackay, if you want his formal name. I don't think I've ever actually heard him called that, except in the scorebook. Taking some impressive catches in the outfield. Let's see if he can add to that with some runs here today. Known to be a very aggressive batsman when he first comes out of the wicket. He likes to get a few shots away. It'll be interesting to see if that's his tactic today. Is Gordo still going to be captain of second grade this year, Choppery?
His face for a few weeks.
Understandable. Although be very difficult to get out in a way that's more embarrassing than those first two dismissals. Very soft. And Connor goes for the Yorker there. Not a bad option on the hat-trick ball for a new batsman early in the season, but Gordo navigates it cleanly. Just requesting the side screen be moved slightly now. I'm sure that both Jack and... So 3 overs down, 3 for 11, and the Broadbeach Robina cap. More company to bowl the right-handers. It's just a lot easier when you've bowled to a lot of right-handers to know where to put the ball. Cody Little using his feet there, moving across to the offside in order to clip that for a single to square leg. That means it's difficult to move. One of the many quirks of playing local grade cricket. And the correction, bowler's end had no trouble making his ground. 2 balls to come in the over. Well watched under the eyes there from Cody Little. Once again, good footwork. Getting in good position to play that shot, but not able to pierce the field. So no run. So run rate required is 5.56. I'm cheating on that last one because the required run rate's displayed on the computer screen in front of me.
Sorry? Thank you.
All right, for those of you interested, the field that's been set is a long on and a fine leg. No, fine leg's being brought up now. So just the one man out. Oh, no, sorry. A corner's out. Apologies, viewers. We have a long on and a cow corner. 5 men on the leg side, just 4 on the off. You'd think that with this field, they're going to be attacking the stumps. The new bowler is Jaden Davis, who was there towards the close of the Broadbeach Robina innings, being given the ball for this, the 5th over. And that ball is exactly where he didn't want to put it. Gordo has not, who looks to be Connor, the opening bowler, who's made that attempt. This field, that ball being a wide, full delivery. And again, a wide, full delivery, but unfortunately, it's a wide. As that's a full toss, not clean, fielded cleanly by the packed field here at Queens. Normally plays pretty true in the infield. Not too many divots. That fine, but unable to make connection. Probably for the best. There's a fine leg in, and now he picks up a run without the loss of delivery. Comes Jaden Davis in again, and that's another full toss struck on the pad. But the umpire not interested in that one.
Who happens to be the bowler's father, so not showing any favouritism there.
Yeah. Always key in these situations. When family's involved, you don't want to even be seen as showing any favouritism. Another full toss. Jaden struggling to control his lengths here, been very full all over. And that's chipped onto the leg side by Cody Little. 2 first 6 overs, but he's no one on the ground picking up on it. So no ball not called.
Got on there.
5 overs gone. 1 over remaining in the power play. Just 23 on the board, but Queens will take comfort that there hasn't been a wicket in the last 2 overs. Come through bowler's name, but Danny. Oh, and a full toss guided very well by Gordo down to third man where there's no fielder in place. Fine fly slip chases, but he's not going to catch it. That's 4 runs. He also knows how to play a once again, got down to third man, but with a fielding change, there is with the score on 28. Another full toss. There's been a lot of full tosses delivered in both this over and the last over from the 2 young bowlers for Broadbeach Robina. Little breathe a sigh of relief. There's that pressure that we were talking about a moment ago. Really desperate to get some bat on ball and tick those runs along. Got to advances and once again slices behind square. Power play coming up now with the score on 3 for 30. His ball is right anyway. Once again, mini disaster here off the field. And there are colouring pages flying everywhere. Fortunately, none of them going on the field. The breeze carrying them along the boundary. Jack Winton, the Queen's captain, taking charge of the situation with some authoritative shouting. All the kids are being mustered up to gather all the pieces of paper. He's very pleased with himself that he managed to avoid swearing on the recording. Congratulations, Jack.
Clearly he's forgotten.
What is this? Jamison Allen, another young bowler for Broadbeach Robina, really trying out some of the in place and looking for the other man out. I don't see one. Looks as if we've just got the one man out, despite the fact the power play's over. Looks as if they're looking to keep Cody on strike with a lot of close-in men, seeing that he's struggling to tick the score along. But they fail in this instance with a good call from Gordo, bring him through to the non-strikers end. As that ball is called runs for a little tickle onto the pad from the batsman. Field spread now. We have 3 men back. We've got a third man, fine leg, long on and deep mid wicket. Been favouring today. Over cover or mid off, where there's a lot of meters unguarded by any fieldsman. There's an unintentional chip down to third man off a thick outside edge. Gordo does well and comes back for 2 off a fumble by the third man. Playing a miss there from Gordon McKay. That's always a hazard when you give yourself a little bit of room, move to the leg side. You're starting to play the ball further and further away from your eyes. With that movement, it seems his intent is to strike the ball through the offside where there are no deep fielders. If you can pierce that gap, it is 4. That's struck on the pad and the finger goes before raising the finger, but in the end, full toss in front of middle. Gordon's going to be replaced in the centre of the field by Sam Winton. Although he's the senior bowler for Queens, so Sam Winton play all the shots. He's a very strong striker of the ball. Not much for talking to his partner, though. I don't think Cody's going to get much chat. In between overs. Last ball now of the 7th over. Field for the new batsman is a long on third man with all other men inside the circle. creeping up and up. 4 down now, just 7 overs. They'll want a partnership. Beautiful day here on the golf feed. As you
Kind and caring message to those Victorians. Ha ha.
Chopra, the heart breaks. I think I was boundary would have definitely run out Cody Little as he came back for the second run. Third man in place as he short grabs that, didn't time that well. Very late on the shot. He's got a third man in place, and it looks like a fine leg's moving into position now. And a long off for Cody Little. 3 men out now, looking to move into a bit more defensive phase as they enter. He's with that shot as well. He might not be. Very close to being caught out there by the bowler. Managed to somehow coming around to his left. Signalling he needs a change of bat. In all honesty, I think that if his bat is damaged, that might have been what saved him from a wicket earlier, as the ball managed to fall short of mid-off with his earlier chip. Look at that area. Oh, and the ball keeping you updated on the field positions. We have 3 men back on the leg side, fine leg, square leg, long on. 4 men on the inside the ring on the offside, and 1 on the leg side. Managed to get through another dot, and that'll close out the over.
Where? Yeah. I've got the round, but
Oh, and enough deterrence, getting close enough to the ball that they hesitate on the run. Still struggling to break the shackles. One leg and a third man. With all other players inside the circle. Well, the catch showing that they're keen to keep him on strike. As well they might be. Early, always difficult to find form this early in the season. Hits that one back, and they'll settle for 2. Can't emphasise this enough how beautiful a day this is for cricket. Just a deft glide there from Cody. I don't think he got it right in the middle of the bat. There's now no man inside, and now a sweeper going back at cover. Sam strikes that over mid-off. I don't think he middled that one either, but you'd think if Broadbeach Robina can manage to pick up another, just pounce on the game coming up after this match as well, where these 2 teams will win for redemption. Straight to mid-on, but they managed to scamper through, assisted by a misfield from mid-on. I think they would have been safe regardless. Deep point and a deep mid-wicket, as well as a third man, and I think I see a fine leg as well. So 5 men back now. Caps are plenty. Comes back in. I think that's a smart call from Broadbeach Robina, as Sam has looked a little bit slow on that cut shot. I'll just help put a bit of extra pressure on the batsman. Goes high. I don't think this is going to clear the infield, and I think Sam's going to be dismissed. Fielder settles underneath it. He's failed to get going. We have a fine leg in place, and now a deep mid-wicket and deep square leg going back for the new batsman. We have a short cover, a short mid-wicket looking to cut off those singles, as well as regulation mid-off, mid-on, extra cover and point. That's another shot just behind point, but no second run on offer. Michael Ethel is actually surprisingly spry between the wickets. given his build. And he's running with one of the fastest men at Queens in Cody Little. But no second run there on offer. One ball remaining in this over. And that's going to be a wide. Going to have to try that one again. As the score moves to 54. 5 wickets down, chasing 102. Required run rate is 5.35. Still well within reach, provided they can keep the singles flowing. It's that wickets column that is troubling for the Centaurs. Once again, struck on the pad. No, not out this time. But one has to think if Cody keeps getting that front pad in front of the stumps, sooner or later, one of those decisions is going to be given. That's going to be the end of the 11th over. It's 5:54. We have Riley Coy coming in for his final over. And that's got to be close to a no ball. And the square leg singles signals no ball. So that's going to be both a free run to Queens and a free hit for Michael Ethel, facing what will be just his third delivery. The challenge here will be to make contact in a meaningful way. Unable to change the field. We've only got the fine leg and the third man in place. So there are boundaries on offer in all directions if he can make clean connection. And he's hit that very firmly for a hook shot over deep backward square. That's going to be 6 runs. Great shot from the young man. That'll reignite some Queens' hopes as the score moves to 5 for 61. Such a small target. A lot of wickets down. Every boundary so valuable for the Queens Centaurs. Very costly no ball there from Riley Coy. Whenever you bowl a no ball in a T20 like this, your heart sinks knowing you've really got to execute the next one. Having a short ball, probably not the worst option for him given the field he's got set. But Michael up to the task there. And that last ball's not going to help his figures either. If the wide and the bye, that'll be 2 wides against him in the book. That one's not going to count against the keeper. Brings Cody Little back on the strike. He's 15 off 26 deliveries, and he's just starting to look a little bit more comfortable in the middle. But that's not going to be no run there. His strike rate sitting there at the mid-50s. He's going to have to look to lift that. If Queens are going to go on and win this match. Field unchanged, still just the third man and the fine leg in place. Cody manages to get some bat on that, along with some pad, and that's going to be a quick single through, bringing Michael Ethel back on strike. After that hook shot, a man's gone back to deep square, so 3 men back now. Better delivery there from Riley. That's a good full ball outside off stump. Always difficult to get away, especially when you're fresh at the crease. Having to play well outside the eye line. Going to have to show a little bit more intent. Move this score towards the target. We can final ball the over. I think that's close to what he was intending to do. It was a fairly risky single with point very close in, but fortunately there for Cody Little running for the danger end, the ball was misfielded. That's the end of the over. Then the score moves to 5 for 65 after 12 overs. The required run rate dropping down below 5 for the first time in a while, given that 6 from Riley Coy. We're down to a required rate of 4.75. The target being 102 after Broadbeach. Robina, despite keeping wickets in hand throughout their innings, really failing to accelerate. Some tight bowling from the Centaurs. We have a change in bowling now. Just waiting for word of who it is.
Liam, who's this bowling?
The bowler's name is Leach as he comes into bowl what looks to be right arm orthodox. No, that's going to be some leg spin. Ball's fumbled in the deep. The batsman coming back for 2. That's a very risky 2, but the throw is not over the bails and they'll make it safely. The old adage, never run on a misfield, and that time they got away with it. Cody Little once again running to the danger end. The wicketkeeper Bakes appealing for a stumping there, but no interest shown at all from square leg. And
Steve Hamo Baker.
Yeah, that's right, Steve Hamo Baker. That's the monkey he's picked up throughout this innings. Third ball bowled there, and for the first time, a little bit of width and length. His first 2 landed very nicely. Although he's not really putting a lot of work on these deliveries, just sort of gently throwing them in there. Looked like he pushed that one through a little bit more that time. Perhaps growing in confidence with 2 balls remaining in this over. Just the 2 runs off it. As a deep mid-wicket goes back, we now have 4 men out. Deep backward square, mid-wicket, long on and deep point. Oh, somehow Michael's managed to miss that long hop. Threw the shot too early. I think it would have been just the single out to the man in the deep. Lots of singles on offer on this leg side if he can make contact, which he does on this delivery. Single out to deep square leg. And that's going to wrap out the over. Just 3 runs off Gabriel Leach's first over. We're pretty happy with how they came out, I think. This commentator thankful that that was a good over from Leach, as I've just received word that the scorer next to me is the mother of that bowler. So, yeah. Rest assured there'll be no bias from this commentator, from that fine young man. Really in contention for some higher honours in the future, I'm sure.
Who's this bowling?
Yeah, changing the bowler. Just waiting. Kyle Broccoli coming in reportedly for his first over. I think there was a tickle on that from the batsman, but as it was a full toss, it's bounced before it got to the keeper. Someone needs to take a hold of this game. It's meandering at the moment. Someone really needs to grab it by the throat and confirm which direction it's headed in. Both teams seem to just be content to let it drift at the moment. It is a trial match, after all. It's still, with the regular season not too far away now for this T20 comp. Both teams will be wanting some genuine match practice. That's probably the best contact that Cody Little's made today. with a single to mid-off. Required run rate still hovering around 5 and over with 6.5 overs remaining. If Queens do manage to bring this home, they'll have a lot more bragging rights than Australia last night, somehow managing to squander a golden opportunity there in their first T20 match against England. Very disappointed to wake up and see that score, where at one point we were 1 wicket down, needing a run of ball off the last 6 overs. Oh, what a fantastic delivery there. Just throwing in a little bit of right-arm orthodox into his medium-pace bowling. And unfortunately, it's accounted for Michael. He's on his way. Any bowlers aspiring to right-arm orthodox bowling could learn a little bit from that delivery in and of itself. Good flight, landed well, just clipping off stump. And Michael is disappointed as he wanders off. He knows he's thrown away an opportunity there to really stamp his spot and mark that first-grade spinner spot for himself as someone who can bat a little bit as well, just putting himself out ahead of the pack. Blake Chapman, that dirty, dirty grub who never chucks his shirt in, goes out to join Cody Little in the middle. Blake Chapman is a exciting batsman to watch, to say the least. There's never a dull moment with him at the crease. He's coming off some good last man stand forms, I hear, and strikes the ball very cleanly.
That last man stands form was validated by himself.
Yes, never one to be a shrinking violet. Blake is always certain to let people know when he's been scoring runs or taking wickets. Fails to make contact on this first delivery. Looks like a slower ball again. And that'll close out the 14th over. 6 for 70, with Queens needing a further 32 runs off the remaining 6 overs. I'm just going to grab a quick drink of water. I'll be back with you shortly. See if he can match that first over and continue to land the ball. Always difficult, especially for a young leg spinner, to find that confidence one needs to give the ball flight, give the ball turn and rip. As I've had it explained to me in the past, as a spinner, it's not about where the ball lands, it's about how it gets there. Little failing to get it past the bowler there. Mid-on was coming around to pick it up anyway. Advancing down the track now, he's going to scamper through for a quick single. Throw comes into the keeper's end, but it's wide of the mark. Good to see Cody showing a little bit more intent there.
How do you think Blake's going to show his intention against the spinner here?
I think Blake's intentions will be very clear from the get-go. I'm fairly certain that Blake only has 3 blocks in him each year, and I doubt that he'll be willing to use one up on a trial game. We've got a lot of men back. I think the word's out on what sort of batsman Blake is. Clean strike there. It pierces the short cover fielder, and they're going to scamper through for a 1. This field prevents that going for a boundary, though, as the fielder got a hand on it, and long off comes up to collect. Field comes back in for Cody Little. Just the long off and deep mid-wicket. Cody advances, goes long. I think this is going to clear the man. That's out of nowhere. Just clears the man on the rope. That's one of the longest part of the grounds as well. Right in the corner. Probably a 65-metre hit. As this commentator manages to spill his drink all over his pants. Luckily, I'm wearing board shorts today. That's just a little bit of a tip for you guys. Always be prepared if you're not very skilled at drinking. There's another Delivery there, perhaps shaken by that previous shot. The young spinner drags this one down. That shot from Cody Little out of nowhere. I have a bad habit of calling Cody Corey. Apologies to Cody's family, who are no doubt watching this feed. Struck that ball very cleanly. It's a great shot. Unfortunately, Leach drags that one down again, and that's going to be a boundary over fine leg. Deep square coming around. Actually, that ball is pulled up just inside the rope. Well, call me Tony Gregg, because I got that completely wrong. They managed to go through for 3, though. And Cody's rocketing along now. His score's moved up to 27 off 33 after this over. Gabriel Leach really feeling the heat now. Great delivery there to the right-hander to close out the over. That's what it can sometimes be like. Just get through the over. The score moves to 6 for 82 off 15 overs. Queens just need another 21 runs off these last 5 with 4 wickets in hand.
And surprisingly, Blake did use up one of those blocks.
There you go.
2 left for the year.
2 left for the year. Just some additional incentive for you guys to hang around for the second game. We're going to have an ex-Queens player playing for Broadbeach, Robina, a young man named Lucas who is really coming into his own as a fast bowler. As Cody Little chips that one to the leg side to mid-wicket, where it's fielded cleanly enough to keep the ball to keep the runs to 1. For Blake Chapman, we've now got a fine leg and a third man. I don't see any other fielders on the rope. Packed offside. Great delivery there, right in the block hole. I'm not going to call that as one of Blake's blocks. I think he was trying to hit that through mid-on and just had to adjust at the end. You give this batsman any sort of width or length and he will attack the ball. As he does there, ineffectually swiping at that one outside off stump. Excellent change of pace being shown here from Kyle Broccoli. He's really got the ball on a string here today. As Michael was unfortunate enough to find out. His figure's only 1 for 3 off 9 deliveries. Another slower delivery picked up there by Blake Chapman, who manages to chip the ball through mid-wicket. They're settled for 1. I think there was 2 on offer if they really wanted it. Unusual for Queens today. They declined the second run. The running really has been excellent. As 2 balls remaining in this over, and I think the Cats will be really looking to wrest some control back as this required run rate really has dropped after that last over from the young leg spinner Leach. There from Leach. Just out of nowhere, Cody Little coming down the track and showing some aggression.
Danny coming back on the ball. Like another attempt at pronouncing his surname.
I'm being given another attempt to pronounce Danny's last name, and I will rise to the challenge. Let me just have a quick look. I think that's I've got that centre part. What about Mitpola Achichi?
Mitipolarachi.
Miti, all right, Mr. Nye, Mitipolarachichi. That's a mouthful if ever I've heard one.
That's a good effort. I like that. Whether it's right or not, I don't know, but it's a great effort.
One of my friends at university was named Ari Charismanagara, and I worked really hard to get that down. So I think...
was that 4 years of university just to get that right?
No. I think I got that right pretty quickly as it rise to the challenge. He's now living happily with his family in Tasmania. I'm sure all of you listeners are happy to hear. As Danny comes in for his first ball of his second spell, he's on the money from the start. A little bit of a feel there, but I think mainly to put pressure on Cody more than anything else. coming around the wickets. He's going to be looking to dart these in and wrest some control back for the Cats and maybe build a little bit of pressure. Long off goes back. Surprisingly, Cody hasn't shown much intent going through mid-off today. Advances, but unable to find contact. Good ball there from Danny, really firing that in. Not giving Cody the opportunity to settle himself as he advances. To update you on the field, we have 3 men in the deep on the leg side, 1 square on the off, and 1 long off. So 5 men back. Quick single there. Good running there from Cody. Getting to the other end and getting Blake Chapman on strike. 3 balls remaining in this over.
Hey, Abby, are you out already? Are you?
Danny remains around the wicket to the right-hander. I can tell you from experience bowling to Blake in the nets, that seems to make very little difference to me, but hopefully it will help Danny out if he's to get the Cats back in this match. And very quick hands from Hamo Baker. Oh, just spilling that. That would have been a fantastic catch from Danny. That was hit with a lot of force by Blake Chapman, just flat batting that, looking for the 4 down the ground. It would have been an interesting chase from the long on and long off fielders who were very straight, but that was hit with so much force, I'm not sure they would have got there. Brings Cody Little back on strike for the final ball of this over. Just 11 runs left to win it. 19 balls remaining in the innings. Manages to strike him on the pad. He'll be disappointed to miss out on that. I think he took his eyes off it. Busy looking of where he intended to hit it. That'll close out the over. I think Cody Little may be being retired here by Jack Winton. It'd be surprising if that were the case because there's another match to come where other batsmen will get their shot at batting. And that's, not the case. They were just sending out a drink for him. Settle his nerves, perhaps.
Charlie Winton running the drinks out.
Yep. Thank you, Charlie Winton, for that drink break. A lot of Wintons at this club. Renowned fast bowler throughout the 80s. Sadly passing away 2 years ago. A real hole left in this club by his passing. Cody Little once again advancing and hitting the ball to mid-on where it's not cleanly fielded. And they make their ground fairly easily. This is still Kyle Brockley on bowling in his 3rd over. One would think that the Cats really need to change something up here. If they just let the game go as it is, Queens are going to chase this down. Only 9 runs remaining. 10 to win. Thank you for the correction, scorers. As the score is now 6 for 93. Blake Chapman taking the long handle and hitting that one cleanly over mid-off. Almost straight hit. Correction, 6 to win. And knowing Blake Chapman, he will want to do that in one shot. So let's not tell him the score. Long off goes back after that shot. And Blake takes the opportunity to run a single. Good intent shown from the batsman there, looking for 2, putting some pressure on the fielder, but as long as it was cleanly fielded, it was never on. 5 to win now with 15 balls remaining. We still have 2 men deep, fine leg and 3rd man, everyone else inside the circle. As Cody chips that just deftly into the gap between point and 3rd man for 1. It feels now that there really is very little the Cats can do to arrest this. The field is still back for Blake Chapman, 5 men out. And singles just everywhere now. Centaur's happy to wrap this up in singles. 3 runs to win with 13 balls remaining. A couple of quick wickets here really could be interesting, but I think even that would be just to bring the match back into contention and keep us viewers interested. And Cody Little deciding to close this game out with authority, smashing that ball over a wide long on, almost mid-wicket for 4. A good way to end the innings, almost batting right through. He'll be very pleased with the way his innings ended after struggling for probably his first 30 balls. His final 10 were just a lot better. A real pleasure to watch. So the match is over now. Queen's winning the first of our 2 trial games today. 4 wickets in the shed. They did that fairly comfortably in the end. Blake Chapman looking very comfortable from the minute he strode out to the crease. The finer points of maths just being explained to one of our younger viewers here by the scorers, explaining how 104 is bigger than 102 and why the match has ended. It'll be interesting to see if much changes in the second game of the day, as the teams are going to break for lunch now. I encourage you to do the same. This is me, Matthew Brown, closing out my commentary today. Thank you for watching if you've stayed with us throughout. I hope you have a lovely day, and have a happy Father's Day tomorrow.